Hey, BA fam. I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. Whoop, whoop, that's right. Everything you earned doubled. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope. Discover does it automatically. We love that. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match. Hey, 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 we're back, we're black, we're brown, ambition. Hey, Mandra,
most importantly, we are not in labor.
How you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great, feeling like, I don't know, there's so much anxiety for me on the weekends. I'm just like, give me one more week, baby, one more week. Mama needs one more week to get her stuff together. But no, I'm feeling good. I have some meetings this week that I'm excited about. And then I just feel like calendar-wise, I'm coasting until Homeboy decides to make his debut. And I met up with actually, I did the thing that I do. You know how I make friends. I'm just like, hey, you. Let's do this thing. Want to be friends? Like, I recommend it. But there was this mom at my son's daycare who she does similar work to what I do. And anyway, finally I ran into her and we've been like texting, maybe we'll get lunch one day, but it never happens. Mm-hmm. And today I was just like, look, I got nothing to do. You got nothing to do. Let's get some coffee. And we ended up having such a great 2-hour conversation. Awesome. And one of the things we bonded over is being like really fun, interesting women who like make friends and are exciting, and how we're married to like the complete opposite guy. And how that's just like the trend. Because every time I hang out with someone who's really awesome, I'm like, and then our husbands can be friends. And then, because, us kind of women, we're trying to like create, it never seemed like Superman, Jor-El needed help. He was like a social butterfly, right?
Oddly, like not in groups. You know what I mean? So like you never knew which, like I would say more so his twin Terrell was totally social. Meanwhile, Terrell's partner, Shailene, is the opposite. She's like really quiet. I'll stay in the house.
Yes. Makes sense.
So Jor-El actually wasn't as like, if it's us in the house, maybe one or two people, but like, he definitely was like.
And with his good friends.
Yes.
And he was known in the community. So it was like, okay, so at least my hypothesis stands.
Yes. Fun,
exciting women attract the opposite. Not that they're not fun and exciting.
What does you mean? Like a little quiet. I know what you mean. Like a little
quiet, shy. They're not gonna, and it's like annoying because then you want to hang out as couples because it's easy and your kids are there and all that. But then the guys I'm just like, yeah, if we get them together, they're not going to talk to each other because like that's the kind of guys they are. Or if they do talk to each other, then they're not going to like make the effort to make another play date for themselves. Mm-hmm. And so it's just the wives in the background. The wives. Anyway, us in the background
pulling
being like,
strings.
What's your man doing? Is he free? Because I think that my man might be free. Y'all want to like, let's plan something for them to get them out and social, because they need it. It's not that they don't want it. Mm-hmm. They just, I don't know what it is. Guys just start in their 30s and 40s, I feel like, just stopping knowing how to create connections socially. Mm-hmm. And yet, don't you need it? I don't know. I feel like I need it more than ever at this stage.
No, I was just talking to one of my closest guy friends, and he was saying how he was feeling lonely. He was like, he moved to
That's
like
big for him to say that.
Because he's married. I wouldn't say recently, maybe within the last like 3 years or so semi-recently. And he was just like, me and my wife, we moved to like a new city, and like he was just like, all of my friends, because he's around, like he's just turning 40. So he's just like, all my friends are similarly like getting married or having kids, and I don't see them as much. And he said, if I'm being honest, before my wife, he said, I realized I wasn't as lonely because I was dating. So, you date different people, and then dating is not just like you're going out like with this one person. Oftentimes it involves you getting more social. And he was just like, and I'm happily married and I love my wife, but I'm like, I don't know how to create these social environments anymore. And, he was just like, I talked to my guy friends and they all say the same thing. I'm feeling a little bit lonely, especially as men.
Lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good because lonely men are, I feel like, half of our nation's problem like, when it comes to, all the things that guys do when they are not fulfilled themselves. But yeah, I'm glad that he actually spoke up and talked about it because husband, I wouldn't even be mentioning this if it hadn't finally been a thing that we like have talked about. And, we've been here for 5 years and I've been, moving and grooving and making my own friends because I have that nature and I really need it. Like I don't like being isolated. I keep my distance. Like I have boundaries and I'm not the person who wants to be friends with everyone, but I need at least 2 good girlfriends, like it's just someone you can text when you're pissed off. You need someone to vent to and connect with for a coffee or whatnot. But my therapist, because I ended up spending the last session talking a lot about husband, and she's like, as hard as it is for you to, process this, you're actually not in charge of his happiness or his, like, cause me, I'll think things like, oh, should I text his best friend / cousin and invite him to go with him to this thing that I know he's been invited to, but he hasn't RSVP'd to. And she's like, you can't be doing that. He's not a toddler. And that was tough. Cause I feel like that's what you want. You want your partner to be happy, but then you can't force it on them. They have to sort of come to it on their own. So like, he can't just be my project. I just have to stand back and watch.
Since we're talking about relationships, I've just been missing being part of I know, look at Mandy's face like, are we doing this? We're going to see how far we take this. I've missed being part of like, being part, like, I'm not ready for partnership. I'm not. But certainly I miss being, like, in a loving relationship. Like you hear some people say like, man, if this don't work out with this person, I'll never go back to a relationship. I don't feel that, because, at least the space where Jarrell and I were in when he passed away, it was really good. And like I missed that feeling of like, I call it a sureness of love. Like the world could be giving you their whole behind a kiss, but I had like the sureness of love at home, even when I got on his nerves, even when I didn't clean up or whatever. I'm like, I know one thing, you love me. You would know it. Okay, I'm going to go in the room. I miss that sureness of love.
The best when you can be your most obnoxious version of yourself. And you just find ways to be obnoxious to that partner and that you're doing it on purpose and you're just okay. Is that the shortness of love?
Yeah. I remember once like I was in the car with him one time and he's like, oh, you want to drive? I said, fine, in his car. And I pulled down the visor and like one of my old cards, like Valentine's Day card or whatever came out. And I was like, what is this doing in here? He was like, I don't want to say. I'm like, why? Why do you have this old Valentine's Day card? He was like, because whenever we get in a fight, I come in the car and I read it to be like, she does still love me. I'm like, oh. And then I felt so bad. I was like, you're so evil, Tiffany. This man is in the car like, does she love me?
Oh, sweet soul.
I know. He was such a sweet soul. And I just was like, so all in all, like I said, I kind of missed that. And so I told myself like, it'll be a year in November. So it's been like over a year and a half or about a year and a half. And I said I was going to like join some of these apps. I'm quickly off them. I don't know how you girls do it. Honestly, I don't know how the girlies do it.
Girl, I don't know either. I'd be just as out of it as you. I met Enrique on an app, but it was my only date.
Like, I need to be at Whole Foods or something because I made the mistake because it was an older Black lady that was like, oh, I found such a great guy. He's so nice. And I was like, well, I'm actually not looking for like partnership. I don't even know if I'm looking to date. Just maybe like hanging out. I don't know. She told me blackpeoplemeet.com, which girl.
That's what my dad is on.
I was literally going to say your daddy is on there. I didn't know because I had not.
My dad is on there. Oh, no, Tiffany, run away.
Everybody's dad. Everybody. Uncle Earl is on there.
And they are happy to see you. I know they were. Were your DMs? Oh, I bet they were lighting up like a radio station.
It was having a really hard night. So I was like, I'm just going to make a profile and whatever. And then I can disable in the morning. Woke up 200 messages. I said,
I'm not at all surprised.
I had to literally check to see that I uploaded a naked picture by mistake. I was like, because what is going on? Everybody was in there, looked like their name was Tyrone, and they smoked black, like Newports. I mean, average age 55.
Exactly.
Average
My
age.
Dad. Yeah.
And everybody was like, hey, baby girl, Just want to say, girl, you so beautiful, girl. And some people messaged me twice. I said, I just woke up. Did you get my message, Queen? Just wanted to let you know that I'm so serious about you. I'm like, oh my God. I quickly
like they think that they're on Quiet Storms. That's kind of the vibe of like how they're reading them. And you can just smell the Drakkar Noir cologne just emanating from the screen, I bet.
I just was like, no. So I quickly disabled. And then I also joined Hinge, which is slightly better because you can kind of like set like your age range or whatever. And then I quickly got like spooked because it was just like my actual decent looking and seeming people were reaching out. And I was like, actually, no, I'm not. Like it was baby toe. And then like, okay. So I've disabled my, I paid for 3 months of Hinge. So I don't know if this is disabled, but I took it.
Oh, you pay for Hinge?
Yeah, you pay for it, And so I took it off my phone and I was just like, it was good to, but I'm not. And so I don't know.
You're a catch. As soon as you choose an app, it's going to be.
No, what's so strange? So when I was talking to my friend about this earlier today, that dating has like pulled up old trauma that I had when I was in my late teens and early 20s. And I really hated the way I looked. I hated it because like, it was like really a time when, I don't know, but like being like dark skinned was like, I remember my first, boyfriend, he was really light. Well, light. Yeah, he was light, but his whole family was very light. He was West Indian. And the first time I met his mom, she came around the corner and her face fell. And she was like, I was like, wait, what? And I knew instantly. And then she was barely civil. Meanwhile, I couldn't have been more than 19. So I was like a baby. She called him like abruptly into the kitchen and I heard her and she said, why would you bring that black thing in here? That black thing, like I'm not somebody's child. And I remember being I went through a phase where I used to cover my face when I was like a late teen because I felt like the way I looked was offensive to others. Isn't that just, and it's crazy because I didn't get that at home. And like Nigerian culture, that's not like, the standard of beauty, I'm not outside of the standard of beauty. I'm the average skin complexion for a Nigerian. But
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm not gonna lie.
I told you I'm a bundle of emotions. That is so fun. I'm so sorry, baby Tiffany.
I know. And honestly, but lately, because of this, like thinking about what it might feel like to date again or whatever, it's come up again. Where I feel like 43-year-old Tiffany is like, girl, but then 19-year-old Tiffany is like, but what if people don't think you're attractive? And I just been really struggling with it. I actually have Dr. Green and my therapist next week because I want to ask her why is this coming up? Because I've not felt like not confident. You know what I mean? Girl, I go live, no eyebrows on, no lip gloss on. I'm on the cover of my book. I do TV, but then this I don't know, this phase of potentially thinking about what it might be like to date again. All of a sudden, 19-year-old Tiffany's like, I'm here with some of your past traumas. And what if you're not good enough? What if people don't find you attractive? What if you're still too dark? What if your nose is too big? All these things coming up and it's just, I'm not gonna lie, I boo-hooed about it this morning. I was crying about it this morning and I was just like, but I don't feel that way at 43. But sometimes it's like, you're not the only Tiffany present, and I'm like, okay, what do I need to tell her? But I just share all that to say that it's a process and what it tells me is that I'm considering that life does go on, and I will never not love Jarrell and whoever I'm with. I got a double lot, so I'm being married, bury my husband. So even if I get married again, you're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Wait, so where you're going to be parked?
Girl, he's gonna be like, my baby died. Wait, what? She's gonna be with Jarrell? Yes, always and forever. Sorry.
We'll get you one maybe over there. But in the same neighborhood.
I just think that I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what life looks like, But yeah, that definitely is something and if I tell you some of the crazy things that people have said to me, Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women with traditional Black features, the way the world, it's not even, I would prefer if maybe you were ignored. The way, you don't even get ignored. it's literally like a harassment. Like literally there are videos now that like if I do the reel or I did like Jennifer Hudson, and like there were some comments that were like, she looks like Wesley Snipes. I'm like, like, see, 43-year-old Tiffany is like, you jealous bitch because you seeing me on TV or whatever. But 19-year-old Tiffany is like, oh my God, you know? And so like, it's so crazy, this dichotomy. Cause like I said, 43-year-old Tiffany, I just, doesn't feel like that. Like I actually like the way I look, like I honestly love the complexion of my skin. I love that I have full lips. I love these cheekbones that Africa has given me. But 19-year-old Tiffany is like, I wish I looked like everybody else. And I don't know why she's come back. Not always, but she's been poking her head in. And so, yeah, it's just like, I just wanted to give you guys kind of like this kind of life update that like, child, I don't know. Like these men just gonna have to pick me up at Whole Foods because I'm just so, even though like, you post your pictures or whatever, you like, everybody knows what you look like. Still, I'm just like, I have this anxiety of like, what if I meet, my biggest fear is that I meet somebody, not my biggest fear, but a fear is my 19-year-old Tiffany fears that you meet somebody in person and the same look that my ex-boyfriend's mother gave me, they give me. Like that look of like, what is this black thing doing here? You know what I mean? Even though I know that's not true.
How could you not? I know, but how could you not be impacted by something so cruel?
Yeah.
And how could you not? And I also feel like, you have gotten to where you are in your business, and it's not like the kind of business where it's about your looks. And obviously Jarrell loved you and everything about you. And I think maybe dating has just brought you back to that place where in our early teens and 20s, it does feel like you are like you should be attractive to others. And I always felt inadequate because I was never the girl with any boyfriends or anyone calling me, and, no one wanting to like ask me out, and all my friends would. And like that girl still is a little bit inside for sure. And I think maybe I like the way that you even phrase it, like as she's a separate person, but she's still worth like listening to. And it's almost like, what do we say to her to sort of put her at ease and heal that woman, young woman,
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're going to be talking to Dr. Green about it and just talking about it here. Cause I think so many of us, have, those insecurities or things people said. Girl, 20 years ago, my mom said, why are you working out? Your thighs are already big enough. I love you, Mom. But she's a white woman who had a daughter with thick thighs. It made me feel like they had to go away. Yeah, God.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I wear shorts now. That took a long time for me to wear shorts.
And meanwhile, I wish y'all could have seen Mandi at Berna. So we both went to Berna. Anat, is that how you say Berna's last name?
I think it's Anat.
Anat?
I don't know.
And so
Hey
Berna, that's her like social media name. She's got a new book called Money Out Loud, and we're so proud of her. So I did I guess you could say like a fireside chat on her day of launch last Tuesday, and Mandi was there, and she was wearing this like purple pink. She looked so freaking radiant. And I just love the way people were like, the two of you together. I just love it.
I know. It was so fun.
It was.
And I always feel like I get to kind of like lurk behind you and get to benefit from your shine train. The shine that just follows you, I get to like get some of that sunshine too. People were so sweet. And thank you. Because that's my uniform dress now. If I leave the house, you will see me in that pink sweater dress because it is like the one of two things that fits me. So if I have to be seen from the waist down, that's what she's going to be wearing. Okay.
No, it was so pretty. I was like, Mandi just looked so pretty. She just looked like glowing, and the dress was like such a good what's her name that came on that was like the colors that are good for our complexions and things.
Oh yes, Kendra.
So so you just
who you guys will hear from in a later episode.
But yeah, I was like, Kendra would be like, yes, girl, this is one of your colors. So yeah, you just look really beautiful. And I was just like, oh. So yeah, child, that's my update. I'm like, yeah, so, I'm running back to my cave, but at least my baby toe is dipping, and I mean, like your girl still got it. Cause I was like, well, damn. Okay, well, I'll be back, lenses.
I know it's a lot of people, and because you're so well known in Newark too, I just know that there's a lot of men who are just like, Tiffany making any signs of, I hope they don't listen to this show because they're going to hear that you're maybe, peeking out, see what's out there, and then your DMs
all my
are going to be
friends
flooded
with brothers
again.
and cousins are like, so my brother, I'm like, girl, just
Relax.
I know. Honestly, I kind of prefer maybe someone who just knows me as like, because what I put on the social apps is like, I'm a teacher. But every once in a while, like someone hit me yesterday because sometimes I check on like
interesting.
online.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then people will say like, one guy was like, I love your work with financial education. I was like, delete. I don't know if I
really.
Like,
why don't you want them to know?
I don't know because
why would you diminish your? I mean, not that teachers diminish. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, you're not just a teacher.
I know, but I kind of just want to get someone to know somebody like as just like Tiffany, not like the budgetista, you know? So,
well, I hope that you attract men who are prepared to be with the budgetista, because when they find out what you do, they're going to need to have a lot of confidence, a lot of respect for a badass woman. You know, this actually brings up for me something that I've had it on my list of like brown breaks, but I have, and I wonder how you feel about this too. Every once in a while, I think on TikTok, or social media, someone will post and be like, you know, I kind of want to share about my personal relationship because maybe they've been single for a while and now they're with someone. But I just know if I post it, I'm going to get so much more engagement. I'm going to get so many likes.
I saw the post you're talking about.
I don't want to, and I don't want to do it because I just feel like, isn't it, you know, why am I not getting that much engagement for my business, you know, my business, strategy or my business milestones and things like that. And while I get it and I see it, hell, I post something on my anniversary with old ass pictures of me from 6 years ago, and it's like I went viral, you know. But I understand, like as women, you kind of like resist that, like being celebrated for being attractive enough to get a man or get a person or be in a relationship. And what does it say about you if you can't or you don't by choice? But at the same time, like the way that I feel about it is it's so universal. Love, partnership, companionship. Who, like at the end of the day, I do feel like humans, the vast majority of us, are meant to be with someone and have a partner, whatever that person looks like, and whether it's not even a love partner, but a companion of, you know, just someone that you can experience and share life with. And it's so universal that we all desire, and I don't think it's wrong to desire that. Yeah. And I just feel like because it's so universal, of course it's the thing that people really relate to, and they want to, like, it's not as relatable as getting a New York Times bestselling book or, you know, launching a business. People like that. But I feel like when it's love, you know, or even expanding your family, like it's just such a special, beautiful experience that so many of us can share that I understand why it gets more attention. And I just don't like that we're kind of getting into that space where if you do share that you are diminishing your own success or like pandering to people to give them what you think that they want. Am I making any sense?
No, you are. Because I saw the post and I saw your comment underneath that. I was like, look at Mandi out here. Meanwhile, like,
was it too?
No, you were.
Dang, you do be paying attention.
I know. Well, you know, it's random because I'd never go on TikTok, but then the post came up and then I looked in the comments. I said, look at Mandra, giving good advice. Well, you basically said, hey, share anyway. Yeah. Like, it's a beautiful thing. You said that. You were like, don't hold back. Like, don't let anyone not let you share. Like, that's awesome. But yeah, I think, no, you're right. I think, and I could see their point of view as well, because it's true. I never got more posts than when I posted me and Jarrell. Like, the truth is, I used to lean into it. I'm like, girl, I need some, especially like if a brand partner would pay me. I'm like, Jarrell, come take this picture with me. I'm like, he and I both want to raise our credit score with this credit monitoring tool. Because I knew that, because people, to your point, they love love. And, you know, so I knew literally that was a tactic to be like, girl, you want 3,000 or 4,000? You know, most of the comments be like, oh, I love y'all. I'm like, yeah, focus on the tool. Yeah. But I just say all that to say that certainly, you know, you can be as private or as public as you like. And, you know, that's up to you. I mean, I don't think that moving forward, I don't know how life is, you know, what life is going to, I don't know. At first, I used to be really public with my relationship with Jarrell, but that's when social media was a lot more close-knit. And it was like, you know, and then over time, I started to share less and less, only because I just wanted to keep some things for us. And I would post him like maybe on his birthday or anniversary or whatever. So I just think that if I do get into another relationship again, you know, I don't know. Like I don't think I'll post as much as I used to post about Jarrell, if at all. Certainly I'll share as much as I feel comfortable here as I navigate. If that's, like I said, I'm not ready at all. I need to get into my new condo first and get myself like situated and things like that. But yeah, I just think that like there's nothing wrong with sharing love if that's what you want. But also know that in the sharing, that people then will feel, they will feel like engaged in your life. So like, I prefer, like I was married to Jarrell, so it's like, if this is your boyfriend and then you guys break up, then it's like, well, what happened, girl? Well, I know it's not my business, but you made it my business. So I'm like, girl, now I'm looking back through old posts.
And you've seen like TikTokers go through divorces and stuff, and it's like, who got the account? Who's going to get the handle? No, I for sure, I understand those intricacies. I can't even share pictures of E because he doesn't take any, and he's not fun. He won't let me dress him up and take a picture with me. It's probably for the better. He's like a government spy, so he's incognito. But
the only time that Jarrell would let me do that is when I was like, he was like, "We gotta get this money." I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "All right."
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. I feel very protective of my son. Like, I don't want lots of pictures of him out. But at the same time, like, I just feel so happy with all aspects. I just don't want we talk about brown ambition, right? We talk about achieving your business and your financial dreams and your career goals and all of that. But I think, at least for me, that's just not enough. I want partnership, connectedness, people, humans, and hell, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to be sensitive to people who don't feel the same way, but at least I feel like, there's so much shit out there. Like, I got on Instagram earlier. The first damn story I saw was about a baby who drowned. And I'm just like, if you have some good news to share, whatever it is, like, I just wish we would lean into sharing that light. Because if we all shared more light, maybe it would, get some of this darkness out of the way, get some of the shadows lit up, especially now. So I choose to continue to be a part of that as much as I can. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to love and love money. I like them both. I'm not going to say which more because I don't know what I'm supposed to say. But and that'll be the clip that we post on social, and people will grill me for it. But
no, I think connectedness and love is so important, and so like it's not a
and money.
But
and also,
well, this was a mushy. Should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break. I got to take this jacket off, not because you teased me for it, but because there's so many zippers that I'm having a hard time moving. Because I'm like, they're going to be mad. I was told, y'all.
We will be back with Brown Booze. Hey, BA fam. I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. Whoop, whoop, that's right. Everything you earned doubled. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope. Discover does it automatically. We love that. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Hey, VA fam, y'all know time is everything. And we take our time and yours so seriously here at Brown Ambition. And there is nothing worse than feeling like you are wasting your time when you go to a doctor to be helped. And it seems like they have better things to do, better places to be, and would rather be anywhere else than listening to you talk about what's going on with your body, the body that we have to take care of our whole lives, right? That's why we're so excited to partner with a wonderful app like ZocDoc, where you can find quality doctors who focus on you, listen to you, and prioritize your care. So simple to use, and I trusted other people's opinions about their doctors, so it made it that much easier to weed through everyone and see who could be the best fit for me. Book an appointment with just a few taps in their app, and you can start feeling better faster with ZocDoc. go to ZocDoc.com/brownambition and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many of them are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/brownambition. ZocDoc.com/brownambition.
Hey, BA fam. Squarespace is everything to sell anything. Squarespace has the tools you need to get your businesses off the ground, including e-commerce, templates, inventory management, a simple checkout process, and secure payments. We use Squarespace over here for Brown Ambition, okay? Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your products look their best online, connect with your audience, and generate revenue through gated member-only content. Present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. This is clutch. See how your visits, unique visitors, and page use trend over time. Gain insights into the top traffic sources, products, device types, browsers, and operating systems by visit. Okay? You own all the content you put on the Squarespace platform. That's critical. They offer one-click data portability, so head to squarespace.com/brownambition for a free trial, okay? And when you're ready to launch, use offer code BROWNAMBITION and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/brownambition, offer code BROWNAMBITION. Did you hear that? You should know what that means. That's your sign this year to finally forget about those run-of-the-mill resolutions and instead start your own New Year's revolution. It's the sound to start selling on Shopify like me. Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're selling t-shirts or books or mugs or whatever, Shopify simplifies selling online and in person so you can focus on successfully growing your business. Honestly, I use Shopify for my Molly Moore site. I have a Dreamcatcher's place where you can get like swag, and I believe we use Shopify for Brown Ambition. Child, we are Shopify up around here. This possibility is powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/brownambition, all lowercase. So go to shopify.com/brownambition to take your business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/brownambition. And we're back in black. And now it's time to boost or break, oh, boost or break, oh, boost or break. Are you gonna boost? Are you gonna break? What you gonna do? What you gonna take? I wish people could just see the Rhythm Nation shoulders that me and Mandy be doing. Like, well, you can if you watch our YouTube. Go ahead and watch.
It was that MJ. It was the Michael Jackson jacket that got me grooving.
Are you boosting or are you breaking?
Boost one is I got out the house this weekend and I wore that dress because that's my going out dress, the same one that you saw me in. And I met up in person with about 10 or 12 of my Mandi Moneymakers in New York. And we had such a lovely, they braved, y'all know, Black women getting out in the rain and torrential downpour rain.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And yes. So I got them together as like a last minute, just wanted to like meet and get to talk to them. And it was so lovely. As much as my business is virtual, I love the opportunity to get to meet my people in person. So to everyone who braved the elements, drove from Long Island to Manhattan, like from Westchester down, it was a lot. So I just thank y'all. And it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful time. And every time I plan an event and people show up, I heal that like 13-year-old girl who had a surprise party no one came to. Speaking about healing our young selves.
Oh, I want to go hug her and be like, I want to come. I would have been your friend.
But no one came, Tiffany. They didn't have Uber back then. No one came.
I probably wasn't even allowed out of the house anyway.
Nice. Right?
No, I love that. I too am going to, I guess it's kind of like a boost/break because today I finally submitted the final draft. I pray to Jesus, teenage Jesus, grown man Jesus, baby Jesus, all the Jesus, of my workbook version of Get Good with Money. It's called Made Whole. It's a Get Good with Money workbook. And I mistakenly thought that when you do the workbook version of your book, it's like less work.
Fill in the blanks. Prompts.
It actually was. It wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't say it was as much work as Get Good with Money, but not half.
Not work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. And so because I wanted, that if you read Get Good with Money, that you were like, oh, here's some additional added resources and benefit and whatever. But then I wanted, if you didn't read Get Good with Money, you're missing out on critical things in order to reach financial wholeness in these 10 core steps. So it was like this balancing act that was not easy. Plus two, Get Good with Money is literally like a textbook. It's a big, hardy book. And I really wanted Made Whole to really be like, not to be as dense, because I want you to be able to get to the work, put it in your bag, get to the work. I made sure that it was wider. So when you lay it open, you can like write in it. And so, yeah. So Made Whole is going to come out in November. It's available for pre-order like everywhere. But it doesn't come out till November. So, do with that what you will. But yeah, so I'm just really, it was such a relief because when something like that, I mean, Mandy, like as you're working on a big old project, it's looming. And to finally submit it this morning, I was like, oh my God, can this be the end, please? It was like last minute edits because anybody who thinks that they want to write a book know that it's a lot of work and it feels really good when it's done, but it's a lot of work, and so, and just, it could be like a lot of stress. And so, yeah, so it's like a boost that it's done and a break. Cause I'm like, I don't anticipate writing anything for a while. Sorry, Penguin. Cause
I'm surprised because you were so adamant about that was huge. I'm done. But the workbook, I agree. It does kind of sound like, oh, it's just like, I don't know. I just figured it was like a journal entry thing.
They got me. They were like, girl, just a little light workbook. And I was like, this is not light.
So did you have to negotiate a new deal? How does that work?
Yeah. So what happens with the workbook is that you negotiate a new deal and the amount obviously is less typically. Because, like a book is different than like a workbook, because I think the stat that Penguin gave me is that they anticipate usually your workbook will sell about 20% of what your book sold, so you're not going to get the same. So I don't know that the numbers have to correlate between what you got, like your book deal. Let's just say you got $100,000 book deal and the workbook deal might be $20,000. Not really. It really will depend on how well your book did and what you can negotiate. And certainly, I negotiated, I spoke to some of my friends who had workbooks and understood kind of like how the workbook game worked. And so the amount that they gave me was similar to what I was first offered, but I just felt like this seems low for someone who's slaying in the streets right now. And so I spoke to this is why mentorship is so important. I spoke to one of my mentors, Lynette Calfani Cox. She's everyone's financial fairy godmother. She's so awesome. Okay. And Lynette actually did the math with me. I had never done book math. Hey, book math will have you mad at your advance if you set up.
Yeah.
I was like, hold up. So with book math, she had me figure out like, okay, how many books I sold, how much roughly Penguin made based upon the books I sold, which the truth of the matter is an advance is money you get to keep no matter what. So there's no guarantee I'll pay it back. Oh, but I paid my advance and I had a good advance.
Did you ever?
And so I paid back my advance time, about 6. So Penguin right now is like, that's our girl, Tiffany. So she was like, you have some leverage to say, I know normally you give this kind of money for workbooks, but you ain't talking to no regular. I need a little bit more. And so Lynette gave me a number that she said I would not take less than this. And so I told that me and my book agent, this is why your agent is so important. We talked through it. And my agent not only got me what Lynette said, but more. So I would say it was about 4 times more than a workbook normally gets. Like it was about the
as it should.
Yes. Basically, my workbook, my advance was about what you would like a good advance for a book. That's how much my workbook advance was. Like if you got this for a regular book, you'd be like, I got a really good advance. So I feel good about it.
Which like 20% of your book sales are even still above what a regular book sells. So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What's the stat that you share? Like over the lifetime of a book that usually sells
less than 2,000 copies.
Yeah. I mean,
the average book sells less than 2,000. We're like at 275 now, 2 years later. And so
I'm glad that you got an opportunity to renegotiate or negotiate as a separate thing. Whereas I feel like I wonder if publishers are going to get like wise to that and start trying to incorporate the workbook into the initial deal before how successful.
They do try. Like,
they do? Okay.
They was trying to lump everything together. And that's a whole lot, because they were like, how about your workbook and whatever magical book that you might want to do in the future? And I was like, well, I don't even know that I want to. I mean, I know one day I probably will write another book, but I don't even know what she's going to be about. I don't know who I'm going to be. I might have a show. Girl, I might be the president of the United States.
I hope it's about your experience on blackpeoplemeet.com.
Yo, one man persistently every week. I'm like, Mr. Earl, I don't want. I don't want.
If you see anyone named Big Al, Top Cat, Alton, stay away.
I'll see it.
I'll give his name to all my uncles.
Every week. Baby girl, I don't know if you see. I sing it, Mr. Earl. I sing it. I just
Mr. Lemon Pepper Stepper.
Exactly. So no, but like, yeah. So it's just like the book, the book industry is interesting. And so, because I know a lot of people would be like, well, aren't you mad that, you made them more money than you received? No, because one, with your first book, you don't know what it's going to do. I don't care. You could be famous. You could be not famous. No one knows. And so that advances your money to keep no matter what, because you can literally get $100,000 advance and only make them $2. And they will let you keep that 100,000. They'll be mad and you won't get another 100. But that's how that works. And so the way an advance works is that you pay it off. Now, the thing is, what I didn't understand with book math, is that book math says, I thought at first, let's just say my book was $10 and let's just say my advance was $100,000. I thought for every $10 book I sold, I would chip down what I owed in the advance by $10. Like, sold $10 book, $10 comes off the $100,000 that I owe you. No. So typically you get a cut of sales once you pay back your advance, and that can range anywhere from like 10 to 15%, right? So let's just say 10%. So if a book sells for $10, 10% of $10 is $1. And if that's your cut that you would get once you pay back your advance, you are only lowering the $100,000 that you owe per book $1 for every book that you sell. So you see how many books you have to sell? Yes.
Who made that math equation?
Girl, that's math that's
beneficial to the publisher.
Girl. So I was like, we haven't sold out my advance yet? Because I've literally, my book has made millions upon millions. And so my advance was not millions. So, but like I said, I'm not mad at it because I still got a really good advance. And it was still relatively for a book that was going to be unknown for what it's going to do. But now that we know that it's very likely to sell, now we can negotiate differently. And so like my next advance, if I do another big book, definitely will reflect the fact that like I've sold before. And so these are things my agent does say like, well, if you wait too long, they might say, well, you sold that, but that was 5 years ago. I'm like, girl, I don't care about none of that. Like I get it, but like if I write another book, then I do. But maybe by then I might have the top Netflix show in the world. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't want to lock myself into like a number now and not know. Certainly it might be lower later because maybe later, I'm not as viable, and that's fine. But maybe I'm even more viable if I decide to do something. But yeah, so these are just some things that I didn't even know. I mean, meanwhile, I went through this whole process and I didn't really understand book math until Lynette Cox broke it down for me. And I was like, oh, and she said, that's why you're going to go back and say you want more money, because book math is like, no, girl, like in order for you to have paid them back what you made, they had to make millions upon millions upon millions before you can pay back what you made. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so like now I finally have paid it back. It took about 2 years. And so now my next statement, I think you get it twice a year, I should see my percentage. Like I should get a check now twice a year.
Like royalties now.
A royalty, yes, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah. Talk about passive income.
I know. I was like, ooh. So like, I mean, I can imagine for a book, for example, like I Will Teach You to Be Rich, that like, it's been 20 years later, that thing is cooking with grease. And so,
I know.
And even now more so that Ramit has the show on Netflix. I know like his book has sold out everywhere. And so like, that's the thing about books is like, you have to really ask yourself. So even Mandi, as you are navigating, you will have to ask yourself, big advance up front, or do I want negotiating, like I'll give you what my percentage is so like what you're going to ask for. Cause I've gotten the top percentage. Like everyone who I've asked, they're like, that's the most a book publisher is going to give you. And I'm like, okay, as far as your percentage. And so like, I hope one day, what I'd like to do one day is have more of a partnership with the publisher where it's like, I'm not getting like, the smaller percentage on the back end, that like, I'd rather get, quite honestly, less up front and then more on the back end. Most publishers will tell you no one is going to do that. I'm like, no, you're not doing that, but somebody out there bites. So we'll see. I think the publishing industry, that there's some shifting that has to happen if you want people to work with you. So yeah. So as you like navigate, I'm excited to hear like, where you are in your process.
I'm excited for you to keep paving that way, baby girl. Just keep paving it so I can hear my Lynette.
I'm like, girl, it's a lie. I'm telling you, when I tell you the amount they offer me versus what Lynette, because I was going to be like, okay. Then something said, call Lynette, girl, before you agree. So I'm going to let you know offline, because I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk numbers.
That's
but
fine.
Yeah, so
we'll get the green tea later.
I like that. I like that. The green. You're so clever.
Oh, thank you. I washed my hair today and I feel different. I feel smart. All right, y'all. Well, this was a fun, juicy episode of Brown Ambition. We'll see y'all Friday for BA Q&A. Don't forget to submit your questions. But take care. Be well.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, BA fam, we could not do this show without your support or the support of our team behind the scenes. The Brown Ambition podcast is produced by Imani Crosby, and Dennis Stemplinski is our in-house tech guru. I am your co-host, Mandi Woodruff-Santos, and we will see y'all next week, BA fam.
Dissecting politics with exclusive interviews, commentary, and humor. Useful Idiots with Katie Halper and Aaron Mate.
I really don't like sharks, and I think we live in a very sharkagandistic world. Quote, one thing to keep in mind is sharks are not out there trying to eat surfers and swimmers. They'd much rather eat fish, but in many cases, they mistake us for their actual prey. When they do bite, they usually move on. That's supposed to make us feel better?
Useful Idiots, wherever you listen.